Let me go. What are you doing? Willow was dragged outside by that girl. Even though she tried to break free, it was to no avail. Exasperated, she screamed, "Aren't you going to help me, Sophie?" The girl who dragged her out was speechless. Didn't she come to give Sophie trouble? How can she still have the nerve to ask Sophie for help? How can she be so shameless? Alas, Sophie did not even bother to spare Willow a glance. Someone like the latter was not worth her attention. Besides, they were at school. Her classmates would not get physical with Willow. It's her fault for being annoying anyway. Serves her right to be punished like that. Sophie, ignore her. Continue with your exercises. I'll go out and take a look, Isabel said, planning to head outside. It's fine. You don't have to go outside. Do some studying instead, Sophie replied. Isabel was at a loss for words. Still, she could not object to studying when everyone else liked to put her under their supervision. After all, it was a fact that her grades were not as good as the others. Saying nothing, she could only go and study. Willow, who had been dragged outside by several girls from senior class 8, was besieged by them in the hallway. As a good student with great popularity in school, it was her first time encountering such a situation. What are you planning to do? Touch me if you dare, Willow warned. A short-haired girl gave her a shove. I touched you. So what now? In an instant, tears rolled down Willow's cheeks. There were so many of them, so she could not retaliate at all. Do you think that the students from senior class 8 are pushovers? You're such a phony. I'm telling you, your act might work on others but not on me, one of the girls taunted. That's right. How dare you look down on us? Do you think you're any nobler than us? Another chimed in. We're all students of Gypsdale Premier High. Does she think she can look down on people just because she has good grades? At that time, several girls from senior class 1 passed by. When Willow saw them, it felt like she had seen her savior. However, the girls walked past her as if they did not see her. Willow was struck dumb. What are they doing? Can't they see that I'm being bullied? Since they've seen it, how can they sit on their hands? She then tried to call one of her classmates by her name but could not do so. As she was usually arrogant, she never remembered the names of many of her classmates even though they had been in the same class for 3 years. Damn. You don't even remember their names, yet you still have the guts to ask for help. How can you be so shameless? One of the girls surrounding Willow snarled in disbelief. Willow had studied with her classmates for 3 years, yet she could not even remember their names, which only served to prove there was a problem with her character. In comparison, Sophie had only been in senior class 8 for less than half a year, but she could remember all her classmates' names. Even an outstanding person like Sophie was not as overbearing as Willow. Embarrassment was written all over Willow's face. What does it have anything to do with you? What do you want? She asked angrily. What right do they have to speak ill of me here? It doesn't. We just can't stand it. I'm warning you, don't come to senior class 8 anymore. Otherwise, I'll beat you every time I see you, one of the girls around Willow threatened. With that, they went straight back to their classroom. Deep down, Willow was highly displeased, but she could only head back to her classroom in resignation. When school ended in the afternoon, she refused to give up, so she went to find Sophie again. Seeing that Sophie had gone to the cafeteria with Isabel, she followed them. Willow's reappearance made Isabel click her tongue and ask Sophie, "Why do you think Willow is so persistent? What exactly does she want from you?" Clayton Zales, the latter answered. Willow had signed a contract with Clayton's company. Since Clayton's Sky Media was in turmoil because of Sophie, he naturally wanted to negotiate with her. Unfortunately for him, Sophie did not answer his calls. Being no fool, Clayton thought of using Willow to get Sophie to talk to him. The whole situation was easy to understand. I see. I was puzzled as to when you and Willow got so close. Sophie and Isabel bought their food and found a spot to sit. Willow also sat at the same table after buying her food. Sophie, Because Sophie did not even look up at her, Willow could not bring herself to say the things she wanted. So many people were in the cafeteria, and she did not doubt that Sophie would give her the cold shoulder. Willow began. Mr. Zales wants to see you. I'm really doing it for your own good. After all, Mr. Zales is an influential man in Gypsdale. You can't be so. Sophie raised her eyes to glance at her, which immediately shut the latter up. The look in Sophie's eyes made Willow shudder. Why do you have so much nonsense to say? My matters are none of your business. If you're here to tell me this, you should tell Clayton that I'm going to make Sky Media mine. Sophie declared. Willow did not know what to say for a moment. She never thought that Sophie was so greedy that she actually wanted to own Sky Media. You're crazy, Sophie, Willow exclaimed. Speechless, Sophie refuted in her mind that Willow was the crazy one. Willow, shut up if you're not good with words. You're talking too much, she retorted. Don't be delusional, Sophie. Do you think Sky Media is something you can have if you want it? I'll acquire Sky Media. TS Entertainment doesn't want you, so don't even think of making your debut, Sophie declared straightforwardly. Huh, Sophie, do you really think you're so awesome? How delusional of you to think of acquiring Sky Media. Since you're so vain, I'll be waiting to watch you fail. Mark my words. Willow was no longer in the mood to eat her food, so she stood up to leave. Hold on, Sophie called out. When Willow heard that, she thought Sophie had changed her mind, which prompted her to stop in her tracks. To her dismay, Sophie pointed at her tray. Take your tray away. Are you waiting for someone to clean it up for you? Tongue-tied, Willow wished she could pour the entire tray of food on Sophie's head, but she dared not do so. With that, she had no choice but to take the tray with her in silence. Standing inside Clayton's ward, Willow conveyed Sophie's words to him. Clayton, Sophie doesn't know any better. But don't worry. She's not so capable, Willow hurriedly added upon noticing the gloomy look on his face after she told him everything. Clayton felt unsettled. Willow must be a fool. Sophie has driven me into a corner, but she still thinks Sophie's not that powerful. Is she blind or what? All right. You may leave now. Clayton was displeased. What's the use of having her around when she can't even do such a small thing? Clayton, I have nothing else to do. Can I stay here to take care of you? Willow asked. There's no need for that. Someone will take care of me. His voice became even harsher as he lost his patience. Ms. Tanner, you should go back first. Clayton is very busy. I'm sure you know that as well. That younger sister of yours is too annoying. Wilbur immediately took Willow outside. What should we do now, Clayton? Wilbur asked. Sky Media's stock was about to crash. Our company's artistes are now requesting to terminate their contracts with us. I think we should give Sky Media up, Wilbur added. There was nothing they could do to salvage the situation by then. No, I can't lose Sky Media. Viciousness filled Clayton's eyes. Does Sophie have a death wish? But Clayton, there's nothing we can do now, Wilbur replied. Even though they wanted to negotiate, the other party was not giving them a chance to do so. The situation was basically hopeless. Hearing that, Clayton could only get up from the hospital bed. Since Sophie refused to meet him, he had no choice but to visit her himself. Wilbur asked, Clayton, you have yet to recover fully. Where are you going? Bring me my clothes, Clayton demanded. I can't wait until I'm fully recovered. I might be dead meat if I don't think of a solution soon. Clayton, you really shouldn't rush this, advised Wilbur, who was still worried about him. However, Clayton ignored him. The former grabbed his clothes, got changed, and walked out of the ward. Seeing how adamant Clayton was, Wilbur had no choice but to hurry after him. When the evening self-study session ended, Sophie saw Clayton and his assistant waiting by the school's entrance. They must be here to meet me. Good. He didn't bring many bodyguards with him this time. He must have realized I couldn't be harmed, no matter how many bodyguards he brought. As soon as Wilbur spotted her, he rushed over. Ms. Tanner, whatever demands that you have, we are willing to negotiate. I have no demands, Sophie replied. Please don't be like this, Ms. Tanner. Everything can be discussed. Besides, this is a rather small industry. There's really no need to force us into a dead end. We'll still meet again in the future. He was already being very mindful of his tone. Fine. Since you guys are so desperate to talk to me, I shall give you a chance. She was not an unreasonable person, after all. Wilbur was relieved to hear that from her. Truth be told, he feared she would put up a stubborn front. Don't go with them, Sophie. Who knows what they plan to do to you? Isabel grabbed Sophie's hand to stop her from leaving. Patting the back of Isabel's hand, Sophie assured, Don't worry. I'll be fine. I'm not going to let Sonny's matters slide just like that. Clayton has to pay the price for beating Sonny up to that state. Sophie, I know you're great at fighting, but some people are vile and shameless. What if? Forget it. If you're going, then I'm going with you, Isabel insisted. That way, they could take care of each other if something happened. Sophie did not object when she saw how insistent Isabel was. Let's go, she voiced. However, Wilbur did not move. Instead, he glanced at Isabel, for Clayton never asked to meet her. Ms. Tanner, Clayton wants to meet you alone. He did not inquire for her. What the heck? What's the meaning of this? Who's the one begging for mercy now? How dare you make objections here? Fine. If you don't want to meet me, then you can give up on meeting Sophie as well, Isabel snarled. Do they not understand the situation they're in now? Since you guys have yet to understand the current situation, then we won't be able to come to a conclusion, even if we met. Hearing that from Sophie, Wilbur had no choice but to compromise. All right. This way, ladies. Isabel, still feeling uneasy, sent Tristan a text to update him about the situation before following behind Clayton's assistant. Tristan's expression turned grim after he received the text. Clayton isn't giving up, huh? What's wrong, Mr. Tristan? Clayton went looking for Sophie and Isabel. What? Upon hearing that, Felix shot to his feet. Mr. Tristan, I think I'd better go over to check on them. Sophie is capable, but my Isabel is naive. She's no match for Clayton. Tristan immediately gave him the side eye. What's that supposed to mean? Mr. Tristan, Clayton must be meeting Sophie because of Sky Media's matters. After all, that company is on the verge of bankruptcy, Sean piped up. MMH. Go and get ready. I want you to be in charge of Sonny's lawsuit, instructed Tristan. Since Clayton has a death wish, then I shall give him what he wants. How dare he refuse to submit to his fate when things have come to this? I'm not going to let him off. Okay, no problem. As a matter of fact, there was no need for Sean to be involved in that case. However, he was willing to handle the lawsuit himself because it concerned Sophie. Charles, who was smoking a cigarette, heard the arrangements and immediately asked, Hey, everyone has a task. What should I do then? Is there anything I can help with? After all, they always did everything together. He did not want to be left out. You and Felix can keep an eye on the project Clayton wants. Something like this is happening because he hasn't learned from the previous lesson, Tristan uttered. This time, I must make Clayton learn that he has no right to bully those around me, including my pet. Okay. Leave it to me. Don't worry about it. I'm going over to check on the situation, Tristan announced, worried for Sophie. Hearing that, Felix stood up hurriedly and offered, I'll go with you. No matter what, he was determined to protect Isabel. Even though she was naive, he still liked her the most. In the meantime, Clayton quickly got out of the car when he saw Wilbur bringing Sophie over. His behavior toward her was nothing but respect. This young lady is indeed gorgeous, but the punches she packs hurt terribly. At the sight of Clayton, whose wounds had yet to recover, Sophie snorted. His injuries were, after all, considered minor compared to Sonny's. The urge to hit the man before him rose in her heart when she thought of Sunny, who was still in the hospital. Ms. Tanner, there must be a misunderstanding about the matter between the Wheelers and me. I'm now aware of your relationship with them. What about this? I will not take over the Wheelers, nor will I go looking for trouble with them in the future. In return, I'd like this matter to end here. Look. You've also given me a terrible beating, Clayton said. He was hoping for both parties to take a step back. There might be a possibility of them working together in the future, anyway. As such, they didn't have to continue the dispute. Clayton felt that he was practically discarding his dignity, yet Sophie was unfazed. What do you think, Ms. Tanner? At that point, all he wanted was to solve the matter. It had not been easy for him to meet Sophie. After all, Tristan, whom he regarded as a psycho, was her backer. As of then, he was no match for him yet. Through the recent events, Clayton learned that a significant difference existed between him and Tristan in terms of power. Do you really want to solve this matter? Sophie took out a piece of gum from her pocket, tore the packaging open, and tossed the gum into her mouth. That's right. As you can see, I'm badly injured, yet I've still come to meet you in person. Of course, I want to solve this matter, Clayton replied. All right then. Here's my suggestion. Go back, write a public letter of apology to Sunny, and post it online. Make sure you write it yourself. It has to be sincere, Sophie demanded, dead set on avenging Sunny. What are you talking about, Sophie? You'd better not push your luck, Wilbur roared when he heard her words. The young lady raised her brow. What's wrong? Are you not willing to do it? Fine then. We can forget this conversation ever happened. She never liked forcing ideas upon others. Clayton took a deep breath. Me? Apologizing to Sunny, the person I've always looked down upon? What is she even thinking? Unfortunately for him, that was exactly what Sophie wanted. If he was unwilling to apologize, then she could not be bothered to carry on with the discussion. While chewing her gum, Sophie took out her phone. You can choose to say no. Clayton could not help but take another deep breath. What else can I say? I don't even have a choice now. Fine. I'll write the letter. He uttered those words through gritted teeth. Remember to be sincere. We'll talk about the rest after I see your letter. Don't forget to tag Sunny when you post it. With that, Sophie walked away with Isabel, leaving Clayton and his assistant standing in place. Wilbur dared not utter a single word. Is Clayton really going to do it? This is a public apology we're talking about. Right then, Sophie turned around. Oh, another thing. After that's done, apologize to Sunny at the hospital. We'll only talk about the rest if he forgives you. Only after saying that did she leave for real. Clayton, are you really going to apologize? Wilbur asked. Clayton was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Naturally, he had never experienced such humiliation. Clayton kicked his assistant in frustration. Damn it! How dare Sophie? The rage within him was beyond repressible. I never would have messed with this devil if I knew this would happen. The sudden kick made Wilbur groan in pain. However, he remained silent as he deserved the kick for speaking when Clayton was in a bad mood. Let's go back, Clayton ordered. Sky Media must not collapse no matter what, or I'll be disgraced for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, Sophie and Isabel had no sooner taken a few steps than Tristan called. After confirming the duo's location, Felix drove over. At the sight of them, Felix stopped the car and got out to open the door for the two young women. The moment Sophie entered the car, she saw Tristan sitting in the back seat. Hence, she sat beside him while Isabel took the front passenger seat. Are you girls okay? What did Clayton come here for? Felix asked. He must be cooking up some evil plan for coming over here. We're fine. Don't worry. He didn't dare to do anything to us, Sophie replied. Clayton did not have the guts at the moment. What about you? Are you okay? Felix then asked Isabel in concern. Nothing could possibly happen to me. Isabel responded. Her concern for Sophie was the only thing that compelled her to follow the latter. Let's have supper together, Felix suggested. He wanted to be with Isabel whenever he had free time. Sounds good. What should we eat? When Isabel heard they were going out for food, she instantly agreed. She was starving after the self-study session that lasted more than 2 hours. Let's go to the Sanders Eatery, Sophie voiced. Sure. We'll go there now, responded Felix. The Sanders Eatery was quite a well-known restaurant in Gypsdale. Just as he was about to start driving, Charles called to ask where they were. Felix quickly informed him of their destination and told the rest of the group to head there. Meanwhile, Clayton had returned to his ward. He changed his clothes and lay on the bed with Wilbur waiting on him by the side. The latter did not dare to leave. Why don't I write the letter instead, Clayton? Wilbur suggested. Of course, you'll be writing it. Have you ever seen me write a letter of apology? Clayton was extremely frustrated, but the matter had to be solved as soon as possible. This matter can't affect the project I've just invested in. Otherwise, the board will definitely find out about it, he muttered. Although Sky Media was insignificant to Zales Corporation, his project could be affected if a crisis broke out at that juncture. Why are you staring at me? Start writing already, Clayton barked. I need your phone for that, Clayton. Wilbur extended both of his hands to receive the phone. That annoyed Clayton further. I can't believe I lost to a young lady. This is just unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, Sophie and the others had arrived at the Sanders Eatery. After finding a suitable private room, they entered it. Charles and the others arrived on the heels of them. Once all 6 of them were seated, Felix began ordering food. Firstly, he chose braised pork, which was Isabel's favorite, followed by ample portions of braised chicken and braised beef. What else do you guys want? He asked, handing the menu to the others. Isabel seemed to be in a dilemma as she said, I want pasta, but I can't finish it alone. Sophie, would you like some? We can share a portion. Before Sophie could reply, Felix said, That's okay. I can eat the leftovers if you can't finish it. There's no way I'll let them share a plate of pasta. His words made Isabel glare at him. Why is he so nosy? Can he stop it, please? Since when did I permit him to butt in? He's too much. Why don't you share it with Mr. Northley since he wants to have some so badly? Sophie suggested to Isabel. Thus, Isabel ordered a plate of pasta. What would you like? Tristan handed Sophie the menu. For some reason, he felt she had lost some more weight, which led him to wonder if she had been eating her meals properly. It's enough, was all Sophie said. She was not hungry to begin with, and there was nothing specific that she wanted to eat then. Meanwhile, Charles ordered a crate of beer. He believed beer was the most appropriate drink in a supper place. That's too much, Sean exclaimed, frowning at the sight of the beer bottles. There are only a few of us here. It's not. It's just 2 bottles per person. What's gotten into you these days, Sean? Are you starting to take care of your health? Charles teased. No. It's just that I don't like drinking these days, responded Sean. Perhaps the fact that he was getting older gave him the sudden urge to take care of his health. Come on. Don't bother with that. We rarely get the chance to drink till we drop. We should just enjoy ourselves whenever we get the opportunity. Don't you think so? Charles quipped. Using a fork, he uncapped a bottle of beer and handed it to Tristan first before giving out the rest to Sean and the others. Upon receiving the bottle, Tristan placed it on the table. I want one too, Sophie said to Charles. Charles glanced at Tristan, at a loss for words. Will he let his girlfriend drink? But it's just beer. It should be fine. This is cold beer, Tristan explained. I want to drink it, insisted Sophie. All right. Don't drink too much, he said, thinking she would be fine if she controlled her consumption. With that, he took a paper cup and poured some for her. Sophie could not help but cast him a glance. Isn't he being too ridiculous? Why is he giving me so little? Is he pouring me a sample? The young lady was stumped for words. Nonetheless, it was her first time being cared for by someone like that. Truth be told, she did not hate the feeling. She picked up the paper cup and downed the beer in one gulp. How does it taste? Isabel asked curiously. Actually, she wanted to try it as well. It's not bad. I quite like the beer of this brand. Back then, Sophie frequently drank the same brand of beer when she hung out with Mark and the others. It tasted good. Open one for me too, Felix. Isabel wanted to drink one badly. How can a young lady like you drink alcohol, and a bottle at that? Do you think your dad will let you off if he smells alcohol on you when you get home later? Felix worried about her constantly, and had only said that out of genuine concern for her. Isabel pouted. It's not that serious. I'm only going to drink a little bit. It's not like my dad will kill me. He's actually quite an open-minded person. Her urge to drink the beer was intense. It's fine. Drink it. You'll just return to Wisteria Apartments with me later at night. This way, there won't be any problems. Do you think so? Sophie spoke up. Felix shot her a begrudging glance. What is she doing? How can she let Isabel do that? I knew it. Sophie's the one who treats me the best, unlike a certain someone who only wants to control me all day. Humph. Isabel spat. That made Felix feel a little depressed. You are heartless, Isabel. How can you talk about me like that when I've been so nice to you? Did I not treat you well? Upon opening a bottle of beer, Charles handed it to Isabel with a smirk. Relax, it's just a bottle of beer. Isabel's a woman now, so she can drink. Since you like her, you shouldn't go against her all the time. Isabel smiled giddily as she drank the beer. You're the best, Charles. The way Felix looked at Charles changed when he saw her grinning gleefully at Charles. It seems like I need to find time to deal with Charles. Charles ignored him and continued to drink the beer. This tastes pretty good. After Isabel took a couple more sips, she sighed, feeling content. This is pretty good. Well, since she wants to drink, then I'll just let her do it. Felix put a piece of meat on her plate. You should eat something, too. Don't just drink the beer. It's not good for your body. He had no idea how to handle her. Seeing how much the group was enjoying drinking, Sophie wanted to drink too, so she whispered next to Tristan's ears. Since everyone's in a good mood today, I'll drink a little more. Her adorable appearance softened his heart into mush. How can a woman like her exist in this world? She really makes me want to give her my everything willingly. Fine, you can drink a little more. It wasn't an issue even if she got drunk because he was there to take care of her. A satisfied smirk formed on her face before she grabbed his beer and drank it. Cheers, Sophie. Isabel lifted her bottle and let it clink with Sophie's. Seeing how Sophie only kept drinking beer, Tristan grabbed her a few pieces of beef. You should eat something first before drinking. Consuming alcohol by itself is harmful to the body. She was willing to go along with his request since he agreed to let her drink. Tristan wasn't a big fan of the type of food lying on the table, so he only drank a little bit of beer. It was then Sophie's phone rang. Since it was from Sunny, she answered the call right away. How did you do it, Sophie? Did you know? Clayton apologized. He actually did that. He was pretty excited and didn't speak clearly. Still, Sophie knew what he was talking about. All right, you should rest now. There's nothing notable about people apologizing. It was just an apology, yet it made him so happy. Shouldn't people apologize for their wrongdoings? Since Clayton's the one in the wrong, shouldn't he say sorry? She pondered. Despite that, Sunny still thanked her. I know you're the one who did it. Thanks. If not for you, there's no way in hell that the arrogant man would have apologized. There is no need to utter those words to me. I don't like to hear it. After all, they were best friends, and there was no way she would allow her best friend to be bullied. Also, No need to worry about your hand. I'll ask Arius to come back and take a look. The doctors in the country had no idea how to fix his hand, so the only thing they could do for the moment was to wait for Arius to return. Got it. Sunny really regretted the series of trouble he had caused for being impulsive then, but it was too late and meaningless. Upon hanging up the phone, Sophie turned on Twitter and saw Clayton's personal apology. However, it was completely insincere, which ticked her off. He may as well not send it at all. Tristan noticed her cold expression and gently held her hand. What's wrong? Did something happen? In response, Sophie showed him Clayton's apology. He commented, he doesn't sound sincere at all. I knew it. He shares the same opinion as me. If Clayton doesn't want to apologize, he could have refused to do so. Since he agreed to do it, he shouldn't have done it so half-heartedly. He just pisses me off. Coldly, she uttered. Seems like he needs to be punished further. Don't worry. This time, we'll make sure to teach him how to behave. That was unquestionable in Tristan's mind. What are you two talking about? Isabel was curious about what got the couple so heated. Turn on Twitter, and you'll see. Sophie replied. Isabel and the others also turned on Twitter. Naturally, they were very unhappy with Clayton's disingenuous apology. Don't worry, Sophie. I'll make sure Clayton pays a terrible price for causing Sunny to get injured that badly. I won't let you all down. Sean exclaimed. I thank you in advance then. Sophie raised her bottle to toast him. Going along with the flow, Felix uttered. I disliked Clayton since a long time ago. If he wants to die this badly, we'll just fulfill his wish. This time, we'll ensure Zales Corporation will no longer be able to keep operating in Gypsdale. You finally said something pleasant to my ears. Isabel smiled. Even though she couldn't help with anything regarding that matter, she was still eager to watch Clayton get his comeuppance. The next morning, Clayton immediately called Sophie and she answered. Look, I've sent the apology. What more do you want? Just tell me. He would prefer it if things stopped escalating. Do you really think this is over, Clayton? Your apology is completely insincere. What do you mean by that, Sophie? Fine. I won't blame you for having terrible grades on your Chinean paper, so let me spell it out for you. You will film an apology video and then apologize again in the hospital before Sunny. What? Apology video? Writing the apology post on Twitter was already something Clayton was very reluctant to do. Yet Sophie tripled down her request. Of course, you can choose to say no. At that moment, Clayton really wanted to tear Sophie apart. How can this woman be so arrogant? There's all I have to say. If there's nothing else, I'll be hanging up the phone now. She thought she was being really kind by giving him a reminder. Fine, I'll do what you say. The conversation made him feel very depressed. Aren't I getting way too unlucky lately? Why is it that everything I do was fruitless? Okay, I'll wait for your video. I hope you won't disappoint me again. Wilbur noticed that Clayton's face was pale. The former was so worried that he said, Clayton, are you okay? Do you want me to call the doctor? Why do I need a doctor? Bring my clothes here. I need to wear the right outfits if I have to record a video for a public apology. Thus, Clayton changed his outfits and searched for the best angle before instructing Wilbur to help him record the video. Upon standing in front of the camera, Clayton felt so frustrated that his blood vessel nearly burst. Let's just stop, Clayton. It's too humiliating. They have gone overboard. How dare they request Clayton to apologize to a mere drummer? However, Clayton glared at him. Shut up. Do I need you to remind me how humiliating it is? After all, he had never been so embarrassed before. Nevertheless, he had no other choice than to do what he was told. It's fine. I'll remember the humiliation that I have suffered today. There's going to be revenge in the future. She's just a young girl. How powerful can she be? The only reason that she dares to do as she pleases now is that Tristan likes her. When he's done with her, she won't be arrogant anymore. Clayton began to record the video after he had mentally convinced himself. It was going to be a public apology for everything that happened to the Wheelers recently. Fans of the Wheelers were enraged after they watched the video. They felt that it was atrocious for their favorite idols to be bullied that way. Therefore, the fans started to boycott all the events held by Sky Media. Fans of other celebrities also began to boycott Sky Media after knowing what the company had done. Sophie was very happy to see the result. This is the price that Clayton has to pay for his wrongdoings. Although Sophie was satisfied with the result, Willow was not amused. I finally managed to secure a contract with Sky Media. What's going to happen to my future after the company landed in such a situation? Nevertheless, no one cared about her future. In fact, the only one in the Tanner family who cared for her was Charmaine. Willow hated Sophie. Thus the former always wished for Sophie to have bad luck. Sophie won't be arrogant once Tristan doesn't like her anymore. It was the reason why Willow had been anticipating the day when Tristan would dump Sophie. After all, she did not believe that Tristan would continue to like Sophie all the time. A member of the Wheelers found the video of Clayton apologizing publicly on the internet and showed it to Mark. "Mark, look at this." Mark gave the phone back to its owner after watching it. All of them were worried about Sophie. It must have something to do with Sophie, Mark. Will Clayton get his revenge on her after this? Let me give Sophie a call. With that said, Mark walked to the side and dialed her number. The other three members exchanged glances. To be honest, I'm still worried about Sophie even though it's fun to watch Clayton making a public apology. You're right. What should we do now? Let's wait until Mark finishes the call. They knew that they could not do anything after the situation had escalated that way. Meanwhile, Mark tried to call Sophie but she did not answer his calls. As he was worried, he went straight to her condominium. Even after he reached the building, he still continued to call her. Unfortunately, she did not answer any of his calls. Nevertheless, he did not leave and continued to wait for her outside the building until he finally saw Sophie and Tristan coming out of the building together. Tristan was not surprised to see Mark in there. He must be so worried about Sophie. "Why are you here?" Sophie asked with suspicion. "I've watched Clayton's video. Sophie, he's not a good person. I don't want you to get hurt by someone like him." "It's all right. Don't worry. I won't get hurt as I know what I'm doing. We're planning to visit Sunny now. Do you want to go with us?" "I'm guessing that Clayton will meet Sunny personally to apologize. There's no reason for me not to be there to witness it." "Okay." Sophie got inside Tristan's car and he drove away, while Mark followed them from behind. Upon their arrival, they noticed that Clayton was already waiting outside Sunny's room. "What are you doing here, Clayton?" It was no surprise that Mark had a bad attitude toward Clayton. After all, the former was worried that Clayton was there to cause more trouble for Sunny. The old Clayton would definitely get angry after seeing Mark's attitude. However, the former only smiled in response. "There must be some kind of misunderstanding between us, Mark. Please calm down. I'm here to apologize to all of you." Clayton tried hard to make himself look very natural. He had done everything that was requested of him. Therefore, he did not want his efforts to be wasted. "An apology?" Mark repeated. "Whoa, who's this man?" I've known Clayton well as I've been in Sky Media for many years. To be honest, I don't believe he's here to make an apology. It's true. I'm here to apologize. Go on in. The person that you want to apologize to is currently inside, Sophie said. She had no intention to waste her time there and listen to his nonsense. Mark glanced at Sophie, realizing that she must be the one who told Clayton to be there. He knew that it was not appropriate for him to say anything anymore. Therefore, he had no choice but to follow them inside. When Sunny saw Clayton, the former's face turned pale. "What are you doing here?" he huffed. He was nearly crippled by Clayton, so it was normal for him to be afraid of seeing Clayton in the room. On the contrary, Clayton was all smiles. "Sonny, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have hit you. I apologize for not controlling my temper that day. Don't worry. I'll bear all the cost of your medical expenses." Having heard him, Sonny was taken aback and at a loss for words. Did Clayton take the wrong pills today? The old Clayton who I know doesn't behave like this. "It's true, Sonny. Please tell me if you have any other requests. If I can do them, I will. Are you going to play tricks again?" Sonny did not believe him at all. Nonetheless, he did not know what he wanted from Clayton. Therefore, he only added, "Clayton, it will be enough if you don't show your face before me in the future." Clayton glanced at Sophie once. "She told me to apologize and I've done it. This should be over now. Get some rest, Sonny. I'll visit you some other day." There were things that should not be discussed in Sonny's presence. "Are you leaving, Sophie? But she has just arrived here. Why is she leaving now?" "I got really bored in the hospital." "Yes. I'll visit you next time. Take good care of yourself." She knew that it would take some time before he could be discharged. Many fans were there wanting to visit him, but the security guards refused to let them in. It was true that every cloud had a silver lining. "Mark, are you going to leave as well?" Sonny knew that he had acted impulsively. In fact, he knew that he was not supposed to create such huge trouble. "Yes. I need to talk to Sophie. But I'll come and stay here with you later at night." "It's okay, Mark. I know you're very busy these days, so you don't have to come here at night. Just get some rest." If Sonny did not act impulsively and rush to meet Clayton, he would not be lying in the hospital. He knew it was all his fault. Mark patted his shoulder and left too. Once they were outside, Clayton noticed that a huge crowd of reporters was waiting for them. When the reporters saw him, they started to surround him. "Are you here in the hospital to apologize to Sonny, Mr. Zales?" "Mr. Zales, even though the Wheelers had terminated their contract with your company, it was ended on good terms. Why did you hit Sonny so badly?" "I've heard that many celebrities under Sky Media are asking for their contracts to be terminated as well, Mr. Zales. How do you feel about it?" One by one, they flung the questions at him. Clayton did not even have the time to answer. Wilbur, meanwhile, tried to shield him from the reporters. However, it was a vain effort as he was the only one around. In order to show his sincerity, Clayton did not bring any bodyguards with him. That was the reason why the reporters managed to surround him. Thus, the only thing that he could do was to back away. Some of the reporters, however, were so careless that their cameras bumped into Clayton. Despite that, he had to work hard to keep his anger in check. Why are the reporters here? Moreover, why are there so many of them? But I can't lose it. I need to control my temper. He pasted a smile on his face. "Hello, everyone. I'm actually here to apologize to Sonny." "Is that true? But why did you beat Sonny up, Mr. Zales? No matter what, he was once an artist signed under your company." Clayton was rendered speechless. He knew that he would not be able to give the right answer. After all, Sonny was still lying in the ward. At that moment, the reporters saw Sophie and rushed over to talk to her. "An artist under TS Entertainment was beaten up, Ms. Tanner. How will you handle this matter?" All eyes were fixed on Sophie. Previously, they knew her only as the third daughter of the Tanner family. It was the first time the reporters interviewed her after she had become the CEO of Tanner Group. What kind of person is she? She has become a CEO at such a young age. Indeed, Mr. Zales is here to apologize. But we're not going to accept his apology. TS Entertainment is going to hand this matter over to a lawyer. Mr. Zales had assaulted Sonny, so I think that it's better for the court to deliver the final verdict. She was not a merciful person. Sonny was nearly beaten to death. It was not something that could be settled by a mere apology. Clayton did not expect to be screwed by Sophie. What did she mean? Has she taken me for a ride in the past few days? An eye for an eye. You have to repay your debt. It's only a proper thing to do. You have such strong moral values, Ms. Tanner. They initially thought that once Clayton had apologized, Sophie would accept the apology. After all, Clayton was a very influential person in Gypsdale. However, they did not expect her to be so bold. Are you messing with me, Sophie? Clayton was enraged. What's the matter? Are you saying that you don't have to apologize after hitting someone? She asked indifferently. Let's go back, Clayton. The situation was not favorable to Clayton. Wilbur knew that if they continued to stay there, it would cause more trouble for them. In fact, Clayton wanted to leave as well. However, he could not move an inch as there were too many reporters surrounding them. Do you think that I don't want to leave? Gosh. Can't he see that I'm stuck here? Then he added, you better call a few bodyguards to come here. Wilbur immediately went to the side to make the call. We know your social status in Gypsdale, Mr. Zales. Can you please tell us what is the reason for your apology? Do you really want to ask for forgiveness? Clayton was extremely annoyed. Wilbur was trying his best to block the reporters from getting near Clayton. I'm sorry, everyone. Clayton isn't going to answer any questions today, but we will have a press conference later on. You can ask him the questions there. Sophie smiled coldly upon seeing the situation. It's merely the beginning. The next one will be even more entertaining. Clayton's glorious days are over. From the time he beat Sunny up, his fate has been sealed. That's enough. Let's get inside the car. Tristan was with her all the time. Therefore, he knew that she was the one who planned everything. But it doesn't matter at all. After all, Clayton deserves it. My girl isn't someone to be trifled with. Since Clayton dares to mess with her, he will need to bear the consequences. Okay, let's go. Hey, Sophie. Mark yelled. He felt that she had become a stranger after watching how she had planned everything so mercilessly. Sophie stopped in her tracks. You should go back first, Mark, she said to him. The reporters, meanwhile, surrounded Mark the moment they saw him. They wanted to interview him as he was the leader of the Wheelers. Nevertheless, Sophie asked a few security guards to accompany Mark to his car before she climbed into hers. Clayton was even more furious after seeing Sophie get into her car. This sheik has the nerve to mess with me. It was already more than an hour later when Clayton went back to his ward. He had an ugly scowl on his face, and he looked terrible. Wilbur did not dare to say anything. At that moment, he only wished that he was invisible and went unnoticed. Subsequently, Clayton smashed everything that he could find in the room. Things haven't been going well for me recently. What's going on? Please don't get angry, Clayton. She won't be happy for long. We'll get our revenge the moment Tristan is done with her. After all, she's just an ordinary woman. There's no man in this world who would stay in love with the same woman for so long. Tristan Lombard. Clayton had the same thought as well. That girl has Tristan to back her up. Otherwise, she would not have the courage to do anything. Meanwhile, Tristan and Sophie arrived at Sean's law firm. Sean was already waiting for them. Why are you here? Don't you trust me? It's nothing like that. I just want to see if you need anything else. Sean was a famous lawyer in the legal field. Once he accepted the case, there would not be any problem anymore. I have nothing to worry about if Sean's here. There's none. Don't worry. Clayton has already received our demand letter, he said without any expression. Thank you for your help. You're Mr. Tristan's girlfriend, so you don't have to be this polite. He was not someone who liked to make small talk, so it was natural that he did not speak much to Sophie. She discussed a few more things with Sean and learned that he had been well prepared for the case. Only after she left Sean's law firm with Tristan and got into the car did she heave a sigh of relief. Since everything is ready, there should be no problems now. You look nervous, said Tristan, thinking she was nervous because the matter was about Sunny. I'm not nervous. I only want to seek justice for Sunny. Sophie thought Clayton must take accountability for Sunny's injury. Don't worry. Sean can handle it. Just leave it to him. Tristan believed that everything would go well with Sean's help. By the way, the university entrance exam is around the corner. You should prioritize your study and do your review. Understand? Understood. Sophie had never worried about the university entrance exam, but could only answer in such wise. After all, there was no way she would tell Tristan that the exam was a piece of cake and that she did not have to do any review. It was 8 o'clock at night when Tristan and Sophie went to pick Arius up at the airport. Arius saw them from a distance. Undeniably, the duo was too eye-catching. He could see the duo without much effort in the bustling arrival hall. These two become the center of attention no matter where they go. Arius only carried a backpack and did not take any suitcase with him. Once he approached Tristan and Sophie, he spread his hands and wanted to hug Sophie. You don't even know how much I miss you, Sophie. Come and give me a hug. Tristan stared at him from the side as if he was a fool. Stop it. Let's go. Sophie ignored him. What is he doing? Can't he see Tristan is here? Also, we never hug each other in the past. You're so mean, Sophie. You don't love me anymore. You were the one who asked me to come back. Yet you're ignoring me when I'm here. Fine. I might as well just go back now, said Arius with a sad face. Sophie was rendered speechless by his words. Drama king. What a great acting spirit he has. Let's go, Arius, Sophie repeated. Sophie, what is this guy doing here? I don't like him. Arius stood still and refused to leave. As if I like you, said Tristan. Since Arius disliked him, he naturally had no liking for him too. Let's go, Sophie. He paid Arius no mind. Since Arius had come all the way here, Tristan believed he would not just leave. Arius went into silence as he watched the duo walk out side by side. He was exasperated. How dare they be so mean and ignore me? They are the ones who invited me here. How can they do this to their guest? Wait, is Sophie really going to dump me here? Seeing that nobody gave a hoot of him, Arius could only give in and follow behind the duo. How unlucky am I to have such a friend who prioritizes love over friends? I thought we were close friends, but she left me to chill with her boyfriend. Having that thought in mind, Arius decided to ignore Sophie and would not help her if she came to him in the future. In the car park, Tristan opened the car door for Sophie and closed the door after she had entered the car. Arius was left alone, standing at the side. If you don't want a ride, you can just take a taxi back. I'll pay the fare for you. Tristan did not spare him. Hey, don't look down on me, Mr. Tristan. I have the money to pay for the taxi fee, said Arius. Damn, this guy is too much. Since you have the money, just go back on your own. You. Tristan's words pissed Arius off. He immediately opened the car door and hopped into the car. I bet he did that on purpose. Humph. I definitely won't fall into his trap. Tristan raised his brow upon seeing that. This guy isn't that dumb anyway. He got into the car and started the engine. Sophie, I don't like staying in a hotel. Since there are vacant rooms at your place, I'll just stay in one of them. Arius shot Tristan a provocative glare at the end of his words. No problem. Sophie had no objections to his suggestion, thinking he only came back to treat Sunny's hand and would only stay for a few days. Arius was delighted to hear her answer. Humph. Since you've pissed me off, I won't let you feel good either, Mr. Tristan. Just as Arius expected, Tristan's expression darkened instantly. He even shot Arius a glare. Nevertheless, Arius was not afraid at all. He thought Tristan would not do anything to him as long as Sophie was beside them. Nevertheless, Tristan drove Arius to the hotel in the end. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Tristan? I thought we had agreed that I would stay at Sophie's place. Look, Sophie, this guy didn't even listen to you. You'd better not go out with someone like him. Arius, How can a grown man like you think of living under the same roof with a young lady? Don't you think you are asking for too much? Tristan questioned candidly. Since the matter involved his girlfriend, there was no way he could tolerate it. What a dirty mind you have, Mr. Tristan. Even if we live together, that doesn't mean that something will happen between us. Please stop judging others by your own measures. Arius thought he shared a close relationship with Sophie, and there was nothing wrong if they lived under one roof. Sophie felt her head throb when she saw the two men arguing. She wondered why the two gentlemen would end up fighting after they met each other. Sophie, say something. I don't want to stay in the hotel. I only want to stay with you. Arius refused to give in. Tristan, on the other hand, said nothing. Stop kicking up a fuss, Arius. You normally stay in a hotel, don't you? Arius was rendered speechless. Did she just make a choice? Tell me, Sophie. Am I not important to you anymore? He could not accept that Sophie, who had fought alongside him and gone through life and death together, had chosen Tristan without a hint of hesitation. Arius, you will always be my best friend, said Sophie, hoping that Arius would satisfy with her declaration. Arius was pleased with her answer at last. I'm glad that you think this way. Tristan was rendered speechless by their conversation. Humph. This bloke is here to get attention. Hang you. You must treat me to a meal after this. Don't bring anyone with you. Just the two of us. It was apparent that he was telling Sophie not to bring Tristan along. Sure. Go and freshen up first. I'll treat you to a meal after that. Just the two of us. Are you satisfied? You sound a little reluctant. Well, I don't like to impose. Sophie took a deep breath upon hearing that. Apparently, her patience had reached its limit. All right. I'll go and freshen up now. Arius immediately gave in when he saw her like that. Sophie finally calmed down after she saw Arius go in to freshen up. Only you can handle him. Tristan chuckled looking at Arius. Serves him right for trying to compete with me. Hearing that, Sophie wanted to sigh. Mr. Tristan, can you stop bickering with him? Sophie said helplessly. He's the famous Mr. Tristan. Fine. I'll admit it. When I'm with Arius, I become slightly immature. Okay, I hear you. Don't worry. I'll control myself and not argue with him next time. It's just Arius. Since she doesn't even like him, he's nothing. Arius changed his clothes and came down. He saw Sophie sitting on the couch in the living room and walked over. Let's go. I didn't even eat lunch because I am coming here to enjoy the food. After all, he still preferred the food in his hometown. He was sick of eating hamburgers and pasta in Englander. If you dislike it so much, why are you going back there? Look at me. I didn't return. I don't have a choice. My mentor is there, and he's getting old. I have to be there to help me. He knows I'm coming back, so he asked me to pass you a letter. It's still in my room. Let's go back and get it later. He wanted to take it with him a moment ago but forgot about it. It was his character. He could only remember things clearly if they were related to surgeries. Okay, we will take it later. Tristan had already booked a restaurant. After Arius came down, they immediately headed to the restaurant. Is he coming along with us? Aren't we eating separately? I don't want to eat with him. Arius was back to his immature self. If you aren't hungry, we can head straight to the hospital. Sophie was not going to give in to his childish behavior. Sophie, you don't care about me anymore. I haven't eaten anything the whole afternoon, and you're asking me to go straight to the hospital now. You're more heartless and evil than those capitalists. No matter what, we have gone through life and death situations together. How can she do this to me? If you want to eat, we can go together. Else, we are going straight to the hospital. Tristan glanced at Arius. He's really asking for it. Let's go eat. Fine. I'll let Tristan off the hook. For some reason, Constance received news of Arius returning and tried her best to find them. They just got to the hotel and saw her there. Constance sprinted over to Arius as soon as she spotted him. Despite having had time to heal, Mason's legs had still not fully recovered. She could not give up on him. Therefore, she was determined to ask Arius for help. Sophie did not react when she saw Constance. The purpose of Constance's presence did not pique her interest. I know I've done many terrible things to you in the past. I can apologize to you and do anything you require, but please help Mason this time. As a mother, she had done her best for her son. From her previous haughty self to her present humility, she had changed trying to help her son. Tristan frowned. Why does this woman keep showing up everywhere? Don't block our way, he said in disdain. He was not interested in their past. Besides, Mason was already in the past. Constance dropped to her knees. Sophie, Mason really liked you. Even if you don't like him anymore, can you help him this time since he used to like you a lot and did his best to protect you? Constance's face was as pale as a sheet. Her health had worsened since taking care of Mason. Why are you so annoying? Why do we have to help you? Arius questioned impatiently. He did not like Mason at all. Sophie, I beg you. Please help Mason. How long has it been since I last heard this name? Mason used to be so confident and handsome. He was every woman's dream. If it weren't for him, Willow would not have framed me and made me go to Horrington. What did he do then? He left me and escaped abroad. He only came back when he regretted it. He was not there when she needed him most. So, he had nothing to do with her anymore after he returned. Mrs. Laird, it's Mason's business for ending up in such a state. It has nothing to do with me. However, I'll help him since he's so pitiful. You can go back first. Forget it. I don't want to see him in this pitiful manner, either. When Constance heard Sophie's words, she smiled. Sophie, thank you. I'll remember your kindness forever and be indebted to you. I'll do anything you ask to repay you. She finally understood why her son liked Sophie. I must have been blind to have liked that Willow. Constance left, and they entered the restaurant. Why do you want to help Mason? Tristan did not understand. She should just ignore people she dislikes. Why does she even bother? No matter what, Mason was a good person in the past. Let bygones be bygones. You can just take it as helping a stranger. Sophie, have you asked me for my opinion? He did not want to help those who bullied her at all. Sweetheart, did you forget you're a doctor? So what if I'm a doctor? I didn't say I'm a good doctor. I'm a person with principles. I would rather save the homeless than those I dislike. Sweetheart. Tristan's expression darkened. How can she call Arius that? Sophie suddenly remembered Tristan was by her side. She realized he must have taken it to heart, judging from his expression. It was a joke. Is he your sweetheart? I'll admit it. I'm jealous. How can he call some other man sweetheart? No, you heard wrong. Sophie wanted to slap herself. She knew Tristan was a jealous man. Why did I say that? No, you didn't hear wrong. I'm Sophie's sweetheart. You will never know how close we are. Arius was all smug. Did you see that? I'm the most important man to Sophie. Tristan shot a begrudging glance at Sophie. See, this is how Arius bullies others all the time. However, I can't even teach him a lesson out of respect for Sophie. This is so upsetting. Sophie felt extremely guilty when she saw the look in his eyes. After all, she did not do it on purpose. When they were at Horrington, Arius would call her that all the time and make her cringe. Hence, at times when she ran out of patience, she would just tell him off. Arius' mood improved. Let's go and eat. I'm so hungry. Every time Tristan got upset, he would feel pleased. He just wanted to see Tristan unhappy. Hence, whenever that happened, he would naturally become extremely delighted. Arius led the way in. However, Tristan and Sophie were still standing outside. When Sophie saw that he was not moving, she walked toward him and held his hand. I'm just calling him that casually. I don't mean anything else. Sophie could not bring herself to feel happy when she saw him being jealous. Are you angry? Don't be angry, okay? All Tristan could do was sigh. Kiss me. If you kiss me, I'll pretend that nothing happened earlier. Sophie stood on her toes and pecked him on the lips. What about this? This should be enough, right? Fine, I'll accept it. Tristan wrapped his arm around her waist and entered the restaurant. Honestly, other than the annoying things that he would say, Arius was quite decent. At the very least, he was just like a brother to Sophie. After eating, the three of them headed to the hospital. Upon arriving, Arius changed his clothes and went to the hospital ward to check Sunny's hand. After a meticulous inspection, Arius reached a conclusion. Is there any hope for my hand, Professor Gulliver? Sunny knew Arius well. Since Arius had helped to heal his hand the previous time, he felt like he had just gotten a glimpse of hope upon seeing Arius again. Arius patted his shoulder. Don't worry. As long as I'm here, I can heal you even if your bones have shattered, assured Arius confidently. After staying at the International Medical Association for such a long time, there was no way he could not heal Sunny's hand. Really? I can still play the drums. The other doctors in the country had already run out of solutions. Despite having met numerous doctors in the past few days, the outcomes were all disappointing. Although he was initially full of confidence, he started doubting himself after the doctors left one after the other. Arius could not help but burst out laughing. If someone else said that, I would have just left immediately. I don't like patients who don't trust me. I've quite a temper too, okay? Is there a need to doubt me like that? I'm sorry, Professor Gulliver. That's enough. What are you doing, Arius? Sunny's just worried about his hand. Sophie did not like it when others bullied Sunny. Since Sophie said that, Arius stopped messing around. Fine. Don't worry. There'll be absolutely no problem. He still behaved in front of Sophie. Arius lamented secretly. She only calls me back when she needs me. And every time I return, she's so fierce toward me. When the director found out that Arius and the rest were at the hospital, he specially cleared out the director's office for Arius. Arius did not stand on ceremony either, as he would only be staying there for a few days before flying off. Sitting on the swivel chair in the director's office, Arius glanced at Sophie. What? Everyone else is more important than me, right? You're the most important, Professor Gulliver. You're my benefactor. When faced with immature people like him, Sophie had no choice but to coax him. When Arius heard that, his mood lifted. That's how it's supposed to be. Fine. I know that you're busy lately, so just go ahead with your work. Leave Sunny to me. Since he was such a professional, there would not be any problems. Please check on Mason's legs too. Don't go overboard, Sophie. You're making me check everyone. Do I still have a right to choose? Even if the president of Englander wanted his medical services, it would still depend on whether he was willing to help. Also, why does Mason deserve my help? Well, just treat it as a favor for me, okay? She thought that bygones should be bygones. No matter what, Mason should not end up like that. Humph. You always want me to do things for you. Why? Am I not important enough for you to do such a small thing for me? Asked Sophie with a raised eyebrow. He's quite reluctant this time, huh? In that case, just go back. I'll think of a solution myself. Otherwise, I can just invite Dr. Smith over, she continued. Is there a need to be so proud? I've already humbled myself for him, but he's still playing hard to get. Fine. I really can't do anything to you. I got it. It was just a surgery, so it was not a huge hassle for him. Thank you. I'll treat you to a meal after the surgery. Arius could not help but roll his eyes. It's like you won't treat me to a meal if I don't do the surgery. Humph. If I'd known this earlier, I wouldn't have gone to Englander. I might still be the most important person to her if I had stayed in Horrington. After finding out that Sophie was willing to help him, Mason felt conflicted. He was the one who had done wrong all along. If he had not left selfishly, Sophie would not have been sent to Horrington. However, it was pointless even if he regretted it. Sophie did not need his forgiveness. Still, he had not met Sophie for a few months. Upon discovering that she was also at the hospital, he rushed over secretly and saw her walking out of the director's office. She's still as attractive as before. Mason's eyes were filled with an obsessed look. She's a girl who's as bright as the star. Even if she just stands there without doing anything, she's still so charming. She has fancied me before, but I didn't treasure her. Now I have lost her, and things will never be the same ever. Sophie. Mason called out to her just when she was about to leave. He used to be so confident in the past. Yet, standing in front of her now, all he could feel was shame and inferiority. When Sophie heard her name, she turned her head around and saw Mason leaning against the wall. Now, she no longer hated or loved Mason. He was merely someone whom she used to know. With great difficulty, Mason limped toward Sophie. I heard from my mom that you asked Professor Gulliver to help me. I'm really grateful that you are still willing to help me out. Now that they were standing together, all he could do was thank her. Don't overthink. I just think that your mom's in a very pitiable situation. Well, she has never been a kind person. However, after seeing how Constance was doing, she realized that there was no reason to keep hating Constance. Although Constance's actions had always been so annoying, Sophie thought that she had a part to play in Mason's current situation. I didn't overthink. I just want to thank you. After all, he had no right to overthink. I'm busy. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. There was nothing else left between them to talk about. Okay. Be careful. Clayton isn't a good person. He had a vague idea of what had happened to her after reading the entertainment news. Hence, he was still worried about him. Mason, lead your own life. Don't do anything just because of Willow or me. It's not worth it. Everyone could only take responsibility for their own lives. Yeah, I know. Mason stood there motionlessly until Sophie left his field of vision. When he turned around, he saw Constance standing behind him. Why are you here, Mom? I'm sorry, Mason. If I hadn't liked Willow that much back then, you and Sophie wouldn't have ended up like this. It's all my fault. My son really likes Sophie. However, there's no hope left because of me. I really regret it. I must have been blind back then. Mom, there's no need to bring up the past. Just let things be. Will I ever meet someone who I truly like? He knew the answer very well. After liking someone like Sophie, there was no way for him to fall in love with anyone else. Constance felt horrible when she saw Mason like that, as she knew that it was all her fault. If it were not for her, he would not be in such a tormenting state now. Clayton did not expect to actually receive a court summons. Sophie really isn't letting me off the hook. His reputation had been ruined by Sophie. When the lawyer read the order, he could only shake his head. Clayton became infuriated when he saw the lawyer's reaction. What's the point of you shaking your head? I spent so much money hiring you not to watch you shake your head here. Clayton, this incident is becoming really serious on the internet. It's very disadvantageous to us, so you must be mentally prepared. Why are you telling me to be mentally prepared? At the very most, I'll just fork out some compensation. I only injured someone. So what even if I actually killed someone? The troubling thing was that Sophie refused to let him off the hook. Furthermore, since she was Tristan's woman, he could not touch her. Are you still going to attend court? With a lawyer, it would not be a difficult task to compensate the other party. Do you think that I can still do that? If this matter was not dealt with well, his reputation would be ruined. He would be out of his mind if he still go to court. However, his phone rang immediately after he spoke. Clayton, you must show up tomorrow. It was a call from Sophie. Clayton remained quiet. What's wrong? Are you not planning to attend? What a joke. I planned this for so long just to trample over him. It'll not be fun if he doesn't show up. Sophie, you don't need to go so far. Gypsdale's not very big, so we'd have to meet someday. Why must you make things ugly? Clayton thought that he was about to lose his mind. He felt frustrated every time he heard Sophie's name. She's like a curse to me. No, I'm telling you this now. It's best that you come. Otherwise, I can't say for sure what'll happen. She was blatantly threatening him. Since her words carried the most weight, she could do anything she wanted. If Clayton was the one with the upper hand, he would also not let her off the hook easily. Clayton hung up the call directly. At that moment, even hearing Sophie's voice terrified him. At last, Sophie was satisfied. Anyone who harmed her would naturally have to pay the price. Hence, she was very pleased with this outcome. Sophie, you're a really scary woman. Even though Clayton was quite influential in Gypsdale, she still managed to torment him like that. Sophie glanced at Charles. Am I scary? I don't think so. I've never bothered to spare a glance at people who don't provoke me. However, for those who insist on harming people around me, I will never spare them. I'm just taking revenge, okay? To be honest, she never liked to create trouble. However, some people kept wanting to target her because they think that she was weak. Since they were so blatantly picking on her, there was no way for her to sit idly by and do nothing. Actually, Winter is kind of lucky to be sent to Allender. Winter had always thought that she was quite intelligent. However, she was nothing compared to Sophie. Truthfully, I've never targeted her before. He should know that the best. I know. It's because you've never treated her as an opponent. Furthermore, a girl like you will never deign to use those tricks. He admired Sophie a lot, to tell the truth. It was no wonder that Tristan liked her so much too. Initially, Tristan was discussing an investment proposal with Felix and the rest. When he saw Charles speaking with Sophie for such a long time, he felt worried and walked over. What are you talking about? Why is the conversation so long? She's my girlfriend. Shouldn't she be keeping me company instead? Charles was speechless. This is what being possessive looks like. He can't even bear to be separated from her for even a moment. Mr. Tristan, aren't you monitoring her too closely? I have just said a few things to her. There's no need to behave like this, right? Do you not trust me or do you not trust Sophie? Tristan scoffed coldly. I just don't like the way you talk to her. Suspect Sophie? No, that'll never happen. I will trust her forever. Charles was rendered speechless again. Okay, forget it. I don't want to continue being a third wheel here. I always get targeted every time I'm with you too. Is there a need to flaunt your love like that? With that, Charles went to sit with Felix and the rest. Tristan hugged Sophie's shoulder and whispered beside her ear, You seem to like Charles a lot, huh? Sophie turned around and glanced at him. What is he trying to say? Like him in what sense? What do you mean? It's exactly what I said. Charles was still Winter's brother, so he probably would not have a good attitude toward her.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.